We are in a full-on game of Among Us right now. The traitor is back at work again in chapter 1075. Not only is it revealed that somebody is destroying all the Dendon Moshis in the lab, but the Seraphims have also started to attack everyone. Despite Shaka telling them to stop, they still carry on their assault, which could only mean two things. Number one, Saturn and Kizaru have arrived at Egghead Island and Saturn is giving orders to the Seraphim to attack everybody, which would explain why Shaka can't override the orders on the Seraphim. Or, number two, just like Shaka mentions, another Vegapunk satellite may be ordering the Seraphim to attack. And from the previous chapters, we learned that somebody on the same authority level as another person is not able to override their orders. Now I'm gonna get straight to the point. Who is this traitor? And what are they trying to accomplish? Who will be ejected from the spaceship? For us to be able to come to an accurate conclusion on this, we have to look at the recent event that happened with Pythagoras. Whilst Pythagoras was searching for the main Vegapunk body, someone or something behind him caused a massive explosion with what looks to be done with malicious intent. When Pythagoras is asked what he saw, he couldn't believe his eyes. It's like he's blaming the explosion on himself, saying that they've made a grave miscalculation. I'll tell you what miscalculation they've made. Back in chapter 1065, Edison, along with Pythagoras, decided to accelerate the growth of the Seraphim. They decided to increase the green blood concentration levels, despite the fact that it would bring about new obstacles. This sentence foreshadowed what's happening right now. Remember when I said that there could be two possible reasons to why the Seraphim started to attack? Yeah, I lied. No one ordered the Seraphim to attack. The Seraphim are doing this themselves. The Seraphims have now gained a free will thanks to Pythagoras and Edison's actions. Due to the increase in the green blood concentration levels, which holds the lineage factor of the warlords, they increased it to such a level that the Seraphims have now gained free will. They ain't following no one's orders no more. The reason why Pythagoras was in shock was because the Seraphim, who were made to obey orders, have now gained a free will of their own. He was also pretty quick to react to York going missing, and to warning her not to go too close to S-Snake, because it was S-Snake who caused the explosion earlier. S-Snake was the one that attacked him. Right now, S-Hawk and S-Bear, who attacked the CP0, are doing this on their own accord. Now yes, they didn't gain free will straight away because they were still following orders after Edison and Pythagoras made this change. It may have taken some time for them to react to it. Shortly after they made this change, we see that S-Snake starts to behave a bit more like Hancock. When Zoro clashes with S-Hawk, he says that he looks a bit more human than Mihawk. This may also be evidence that they were starting to react to this change. And honestly, I think this transformation in the Seraphim would reflect one of the main themes of One Piece pretty well. That theme being freedom and free will. The Seraphims, who were made to be weapons to follow orders, have now broken free of the limit that was set upon them, essentially gaining freedom. Does this mean that Edison and Pythagoras are to blame? Are they the traitors? No, I don't think so. One thing that we've seen with the Vegapunks is that they love to make new discoveries and developments in science. So they might have just gotten too excited and went ahead with it. I don't think they would put themselves under that much danger if they knew the consequences. I acknowledge that this doesn't answer the question to who lowered the lab defenses earlier. You may be thinking at this point, okay, a Vegapunk satellite didn't order the Seraphim to attack, but they could have lowered the defenses, therefore they're still a traitor. And once again, I don't think this is the case. We know and the Vegapunks know that sometimes they will disagree with each other and argue amongst themselves. They all represent different traits of Vegapunk. Some of them may think that the best way to protect Vegapunk is to leave the island, and for some they think the best way to protect him is to stay and fight. They obviously do conflict with one another, but just like Vegapunk mentions here, it doesn't matter as long as it's bringing a development in science. The Vegapunks all share one brain, the same knowledge and memories. They synchronize this to Punk records once a day. Now if someone did have malicious intentions to betray them, they would know about this beforehand. And judging by Shaka's reaction at the end of chapter 1075, he was completely shocked to find out that there's a possibility a Vegapunk satellite may be behind this. Because even he knows, despite there being some conflicts and arguments here and there between them, no one would go this far and to have everyone's lives in danger. Now because I believe that nobody ordered the Seraphim to attack, I don't think there's a traitor at all. People point to the main Vegapunk body being the traitor, but once again for me it doesn't really add up. Right now, not only is he a baby, if he did order the Seraphim to attack the Straw Hats, then he's getting rid of the one ticket that he has out of Egghead Island. The shadowy figure we see here taking out the cameras may be a Seraphim, possibly S-Shark. Now as for who I believe lowered the defense systems earlier, since we're going off the theme of robots breaking free of their limits and following orders, I think it could be a similar situation here. It may be possible that Punk Records, Vegapunk's brain, or even Egghead Island itself has gained its own free will, and this may have triggered when Vegapunk decided he wanted to leave the island, and it now has malicious intentions to kill everyone. Now to sum up, I think Oda is purposely misdirecting us to believe that there is a traitor. Instead he will pull the bunny out of the hat and revealed that the Seraphim as well as Punk Records or Egghead Island itself has gained its own free will, and they are the ones who are willingly deciding that they want to attack everyone. Before I end this video, I want to give a shout out to Middleway on Twitter. We were going back and forth a lot about what we think is happening in this situation, and it really did push me to think and come up with this theory. He has his own theory where he thinks that Jinbei is actually the traitor. It's an interesting theory, so I suggest you guys go watch it on YouTube. I'll leave a link to the video and his Twitter in the description. Anyways, follow me on my Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave the links in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.